Good evening, everybody. I got a special show for you today. Stay tuned.
Here to bring you the facts, data, and statistics up close and personal. Letting you decide if it truly is hate or debate.
Pulls up three-pointer. Bang! Bang! It's good! Wins the game at the buzzer! Oh my God! Ain't no way! Are you kidding me?
We got a special interview for you guys this evening. This is very fun for me. We've got someone who's close to my heart, my family member, Mr. Harold JAMISON. Now, to give y'all a little bit of background, they call him the Big O. This is man's from the Low Country, out of Van, South Carolina. Y'all don't hear too many folks come out of there. This man was a dual threat in high school. Played football, played basketball, went to Clemson, played under Rick Barnes when they was in the ACC, Sweet 16, professional career, overseas career.
Getting North Carolina out of here. Yeah.
Talented,
Get him out of here.
Family. Come from a talented family. Long line of ball players, long line of everything. So, Harold JAMISON, a.k.a. Big O, thank you for coming on our show today.
We definitely appreciate your time, bro. We definitely do, man.
Yeah, no doubt. Thank y'all for having me.
First and foremost, how you doing? We all happy tonight. How are you doing though? How are you doing?
I'm good. Everybody is good. Just back to enjoying life and spending a lot of time with my boys. So I'm well.
Good. That's good. So one of the things I was telling them when they first because they got hooked up with me through RJ. And So one of the things I was telling them, I was like, I spent a lot of time, I'm a daddy's girl. I spent a lot of time with my dad. And so my dad spent a lot of time helping y'all and following y'all. Like when I tell you the road basketball came through my house. We were on Fort Jackson. They were playing AAU. They'd come from the Low Country, come stay at our house and go wherever they go. It was like, we were like the halfway point. Like I spent my years following behind shoes, trying to learn the game of basketball and football.
That's right.
I was like their little shadow for a long time.
And I
don't know, bro. I don't know if you remember this game. I remember a game I don't know if it was your junior year or senior year. It was down. This was when it was still Holly Hill Roberts High School because they're now Lake Marion.
Yeah, that's right.
And they were playing, and now my cousin's like, what, 6? You're what, 6'8"?
Yeah, 6'9". You close.
6'8", 6'9".
So fix the hat. Do you take an inch off? It's okay. They still gonna get it. Jumping out of the gym. Look, he jumping out of the gym. You can take one off.
He a big dude. And I remember him in a football game, and I don't know where this cat came from, but he hit him and knocked the wind out of him. And I was like, how? And he was just, I'm like, what happened? And then he just jumps up like it's nothing. I'm just like, okay. I don't know what's wrong. You remember that game?
Yeah, I as a matter of fact, the funny thing is, me and my boys are sitting here watching football tonight. We was watching the game, and I tell you, no lie, that same game came back to me because I think, besides me pulling a ligament in one of my fingers, that was the only game that I could remember my whole 4 years in high school that somebody actually put me on my butt. Like, I mean,
he sat you down.
I got the wind knocked out me, and man, listen, I was just on the ground. I was like, I ain't gonna be no bitch.
Yeah, I gotta get up.
Our whole entire family was out. I think it was his senior game because our whole entire family was out there. Like,
yeah, my mom and them out here. I ain't finna sit down. I ain't laying down. I know my mom and them out here.
It was crazy.
He put that helmet directly in my gut. I mean, knocked the soul out of me. Ooh. I was like, yeah, like full speed, and I was like, oh my God, I couldn't breathe. I couldn't do nothing. All I could do was just lay there. And then coaches came out. I was like, all right, time to get up.
Did that hit make you question football at that moment?
Nah, you know what? It didn't, but it did let me know that I was definitely not invincible.
I can understand that. Yeah, I can
Yeah.
understand that. Yeah, yeah. I'm solid because for y'all that don't know, y'all just check the North Carolina game versus the Clemson game with him. This is when the jerseys were baggy. If you look under those jerseys, you see nothing but solid muscle. And this man at 6'9" is saying this right here. This is letting y'all know these guys are not playing. They're playing for keeps out here. They're playing for keeps. And hold up, here he is right here. Breeze, what's going on with you, man?
Yo, good evening, everybody. What's the word?
This is fun, y'all. Y'all don't understand.
Man. It's a family affair, man.
It's a fun night for me. I got my family on the line, helping me do what I do best. What's up, Mr. Blind DJ?
Coolin'. What's going on, cuz? How you?
I'm good. We got Rel on the line today.
Mr. Big O. What's up, cousin?
What's going on, man?
Oh man, ain't that, man. Happy New Year to you, sir.
Same to you, man. Same to you.
I'm gonna just sit back in the cut, you know what I'm saying? I'll pop in and out, but y'all know I'm around.
You already know. We got you. We got you.
So
you pulled in.
Let's get into the whole fun of this. Being that you were a dual athlete, you know, and you were conference player, dual both sports, like you couldn't read a paper in a low country without seeing his name. Right. So being that you were a dual athlete, what made you say, okay, basketball was where you're gonna stick your game at?
I think for me, my thought was I was good enough, I was athletic enough where if basketball didn't work out, I knew I could always play football. So my thing was, a lot of people say that I was better in football than I was basketball in high school. They say football was my sport, but basketball was my love. So for me, I chose basketball after I got to college. And, I thought about football. I'm like, well, if I ever go pro, I still can play football, 6'8", athletic, great hands, fast for my size, like I could always fall back on football. But then I thought about it and looking at the pros, I'm like, you know what? I'm going for longevity. So I'm like 6'9", defensive end, tight end. Nah. I just don't see that right now. So I chose basketball based on the longevity from that point on. But initially, I just thought that I was good enough or athletic enough where I could always go back to football.
That makes sense. Now, for the people who watch out there, as I said, we come from a long line of ball players, be it football, basketball, baseball. If there was a ball, they could handle it. Now, a lot of people, it's all boys in this family. All boys.
Were you a flopper?
No, not a LeBron.
You heard me. Look, that's a question I gotta ask because you came up in the 96s in college and stuff, the 2000s and stuff. We knew what ball was then. Were you a flopper?
Yes.
No.
I can attest to that.
Flopping was frowned upon during the time that we played. You understand what I'm saying? Because literally, basketball was a grown man game, and they would tell you back then basketball was more physical than football.
That's right.
Like for me, once I got to the pros, you got to remember, I went up against people every night, like the Karl Malones and the Tim Duncans and the Anthony Masons and the Charles Oakleys and like the Ben
certified
Wallace.
Bigs. These ain't the bigs now that are going to stretch the floor with a three. These guys that's going to battle you under the basket. Yeah.
I'm talking about some real like real G's, like real gangsters, not just on the court. I'm talking about in real life, you know, like Karl Malone, Anthony Mason, Charles Oakley. You know, I'm talking about guys that'll slap you and won't even think twice about it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
this is a part of the game in these times. And before T, I got one more before you go back to you.
Okay.
Because with that and how the game is, and with that, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on it 100%. I was undersized until I got my growth spurt and everything. I never made it on the level you made it on college or anything. But right now, the way that you see the NBA, the way that I see it,
you done took my question.
How do you feel about how you feel about the load management and things in the game right now?
Man, load management. What is that?
Right. I mean, you out here for a check, right?
Here's the thing, and this is just my personal opinion. Whatever they're doing, they got something wrong, right? And hear me out on this, and this is why I say this. You have guys who, back during the time when I was playing, right? And especially for me, because I only took 2 weeks off in the summer. I took a week off right after the season. That week off, I gave my body a rest, mental rest, and then I was back in the gym. Even if it was only 3-4 days a week, I was back in the gym, right? Then I took another week off, probably like a month or two before, before training camp started. But you had guys that during the off season, that's where you got better. That's where you got in shape. Then you have the preseason, because what people don't know is like you go to training camp and you're only 3-4 days in the training camp, and guess what? You playing. You got your first game. It ain't no couple of weeks. It ain't like college or high school where, you got a month before your first game. Nah, you go to training camp within 7 days, you are playing. Like preseason starts. So then after that, you have regular season. After the regular season, you may have playoffs. And then after the playoffs, you got the extended playoffs. If you make it, all the way to the finals or deep into the playoffs. So now you're talking about 120 plus games over the course of 9 months, 10 months. And you had guys that didn't take a break. The only break they got was, I rest in the last few minutes of this game because you know what? We're winning.
Yep.
Right? Mm-hmm. But how many people during that era you can count on one hand how many people had career-ending injuries? How many Achilles tendons you seen was being torn? Like how many people was coming up with knee injuries and stuff during that time, man?
Yep. It was only one as far as Achilles, and he bounced back, but he wasn't the same, but he bounced back. But the only one that I could think of was Dominique, but that was a little bit before that era, you know what I mean? So in the era where you're talking about, you don't see that like that because they was fine-tuned machines, man.
And listen, and you know what? You hit the nail on the head. Fine-tuned machines. People do not realize like how fine-tuned your body has to be. This is why you can't take a lot of time off, because your body has to be in tip-top condition. I'm talking about a condition you never thought that was imaginable. When I got to Miami, I thought that Pat Riley was crazy because I was in shape. I was in shape. I mean, like I was about as good as they come. So he looked at me. He told me, he said, "You know what? You're in great shape." He said, "You're in great condition." He said, "But I want you to be in optimum condition." So I looked at him like he was crazy. I'm like,
yeah, optimum.
Optimum, like, I mean, so like, what does that make me now? But when the season started, when the season started, this dude had me at 255 pounds with 3.5% body fat at
Sheesh.
almost 260 pounds. So when I was in college, I was ripped, I was cut, I was like, okay.
Yeah, you was that big boy. Only
Yeah,
thing
you understand what I'm
outside of
saying?
you, only thing big was that uniform. He had the
Right.
muscles under there, like, yo, run up on me if you want. Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. And that's exactly how I felt. But I'm telling you, come September, when I was in Miami, man, listen, I weighed in training camp 255 pounds or 257 pounds with 3.5% body fat.
Did you ever think you could get there before the NBA and everything? Did you ever think that was a part of your agenda or where you would be in life as far as your body?
Man, listen, when I left college, I thought I was in the best shape of my life. Like literally, I thought I was in the best shape of my life. I mean, I was looking good, I was feeling good, had crazy energy, crazy stamina, especially for somebody my size. And I'm not comparing myself, but when you see LeBron standing at 6'9" and you look at his body and the way he takes care of his body, like I tell people all the time, listen, like I was the LeBron before the LeBron. Like I was 6'9", I ran the 40 and under 4.5. I was benching 375 plus. I mean, like
Talk to him, talk to him, Big O. Talk
you
to
know,
him.
and this was back in the day. So I didn't have his skill set, of course, but I mean, when you talking about natural ability and athleticism and just gifted athletically, I'm like, man, listen, if this dude was playing with me, I would okay.
I'm gonna give him a problem. A couple headaches
understand
out
what I'm
here.
saying?
Hey, look, you came from Akron. South Carolina is much different. You ain't got to worry about nothing nowadays like that. It's gonna be you or me. It ain't gonna be me. I know where you're coming from with it.
So it's like, man, I'm like, it's different. The game now is different. So back to the question, somebody has something wrong. All these cats getting hurt. They got to sit out for weeks and months, and it's like it's contagious. Like it's all around the league. You see these young guys getting hurt, but yet still they talking about load management, like taking off this game, that game, and you still getting hurt. Like, come on, man. Like something, like something is not right. And then the way they practice and stuff. I mean, I think that our era was just a different breed. Like we was cut from a different cloth, man. Just toughness physically and mentally. It's just a different breed.
I think you hitting everything on the head because, a couple other podcasts, they say the best ability is availability. And in the era where we're talking about, your era, y'all was always available. It wasn't I'm not going to be here. And, Kobe was one of the ones that said, and it was a couple other NBA players that said, these players that's watching the game, they want to see their favorite players play. Doesn't matter when it is. And this is your job. LeBron spends so much money into his body and being right. So many other players do so much to be right, but it's so many others that are stars that they take the night off. You don't know what these blue collar workers had to go through to bring their sons to the game, and they're looking for you, and you not out there like that. To me, all of the games that when I was paying for tickets with my mom Dukes, and I wish she was on here. I know she's watching it right now. T, she watching it, but we went over. Only reason we got season passes for Charlotte was for when LA came over there when they came over to play. Kobe was genuinely hurt when I paid that year or when I was going in. It was sad, but he still showed up with the team. It wasn't like he was missing or anything like that. It's like sometimes now the team players, when they're hurt, they don't even travel with the team. It's like, yeah, I'll be there when y'all get back, or however.
It's different.
I say all of that to say my last question before I give it back to T, because I am hogging it, and this is what she's supposed to be doing.
And that's not unusual, but we ain't gonna tell nobody that.
Yeah. But the NBA now versus when you played it, I don't watch it the same now as back then. What do you think is missing? Because you had Steph with the threes. Now the bigs is trying to shoot threes. No bigs is trying to be in the lane like how bigs is supposed to be the game that we know the game is. We can't even teach Pop Warner or rec ball or AAU ball with bigs being bigs now because everybody is stretched, trying to play more and harder. How do you see it like in your era versus now with how the fundamentals of the game are?
Well, I tell you this, first and foremost, at one point, Europeans had to adapt to our way of basketball because it was our game.
That is true.
But now we adapting to the European way of play. That's why you see all this flopping. That's why you see the stretch 4s and 5s. I mean, and we have more foreigners in the game now, more so than ever, almost to the point where they're taking over.
Yep. Like the last few were MVPs that are foreigners like that.
Correct. So with that being said, I think we got the word skilled mixed up as well because, I played in Europe, so I know how they talk to their big man, how they teach their big man. And true, their big man can shoot because I'll just, call a spade. They soft. When you go to Greece, when you go to some of these tougher countries like Greece and those countries over there, it's a more physical league. So you got more physical big guys than any other place in Europe and Asia, right? But Americans look at it as skill, and then now this whole skill trend started where, okay, we got stretches, we got big men shooting, so guess what? We're going to teach everybody these skills. Mistake number one. You can teach a kid a skill, but that doesn't mean he's going to be skilled. Because some kids just don't have it. They don't have that skill set. You got to have a special skill set in order to teach certain skills. So now you out here teaching a big man that has slow feet, right?
No hands,
but you're trying to teach him how to handle a ball. You're trying to teach him how to cross somebody over. You're trying to teach him how to shoot threes and telling him that it's okay because that's the way the game is. No, it's not okay. Get your big behind down in the paint. You operate around 8 to 10 feet and you make a living. When I was in Florida, exactly. Like when I was in Florida and I took over this team once I retired, the team had won like one game. They won one game the season before, right? Mm-hmm. And I went to one practice and I was like, oh my God. So you had a fullback and a running back in middle school, that was out here shooting threes, blah, blah. And they irked my nerves because I'm like, what give you all the right to abuse the game that I love? And, the game that I take so much pride in, and I call it abuse because the coach didn't know any better. He was just, oh yeah, everybody shoot threes, everybody do this, everybody do that. Nope. So I went in there, I spoke to the parents, I spoke to these kids. Everybody had roles, and we lost one game and ended up winning the championship from a team, same kids that won one game the year before and ended up winning the middle school championship in Florida.
Let's get it.
And
Let's
right,
get it, man.
so the thing is, like all this skill work, and they learned skills, but it was a different set of skills. Listen, you can shoot the ball, but guess what? It ain't gonna be outside of 8 or 10 foot. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
You're
You
not
got
gonna
a
be out there
limit to
behind.
where you're shooting.
Exactly. But
You
you're
got
not
a
gonna be
rebound.
out
You're the
there.
rebounder, bro. I don't need
Thank
you
you.
shooting and letting everybody else run and getting hurt because they got to be amongst the trees to get your boards.
And
Bro,
my
shoot it where
thing
you
was,
can drop the elbow and go on in there and guard that rebound.
and see, nobody wanted to do it because nobody was told to do it. So, you
Right.
know, when you give these kids free range, that's what's gonna happen. They're gonna
That's
take free range. They're kids. So they're gonna give you, I mean, they're gonna take exactly what you give them.
That's right.
So, you know, my thing to them was, listen, in a world where everybody is trying to be the same, just be different.
That's right.
Be different. Because everybody else is trying to be the same. So if everybody else is doing the same thing, like, why would you follow that trend? And we were different. I mean, we played D, we played hard D. Um, you know, like we was just different. Everybody understood their roles. Nobody was out there doing crazy stuff. And right now, two of those kids, um, I'm off that same team, man. One of them went to Central Florida, the other one went to Louisiana State. Oh, and one more kid went to NC State. You know, just because you planted something in these kids from the beginning, and while they were young enough to understand it, but not only that, you know, they saw the benefits of what it was that you was telling them and trying to show them. And I mean, they carry that to this day. As a matter of fact, I just spoke to one of them like 2 days ago, man, and it was like, Coach, thank you, man. Like,
I was gonna say, man, you might as well go ahead and pop the hood on that. You know what I mean? Hey, ain't nothing wrong with a little something. You doing a little something. We do it for two something out here, man. I ain't mad at that. At all. I understand it. And one of the best things, like, I haven't coached on none of the levels. I haven't played on the levels that you've been on, but just doing this for my community where I'm doing it, and the way that the parents and the kids get, they want to pay me, they want to do things. I'm like, no, I'm doing this because if I would have had this, is no telling what I would have done. But
right,
this is what this community needs, because this is the stage before you gonna play sports, or you gonna smoke weed, you gonna be chilling in the hood, and you know Camden, it ain't big enough to where you have bigger results where you can smoke weed and do both. I'm not saying it's good for any child that's gonna do any sports to try to blend both, but if you got somebody that's here and doing things with you, this is what the greats didn't have, and what they had was their work ethic. You blend that with somebody that'll bend their back and make sure everything works in your favor. Those are the guys you got to look out for, man. And it needs to be more people just like you, man. T, go ahead, man. Cause you've been quiet for a minute. I know you was ready to punch me in the stomach. I got a little long-winded. I'm sorry, T. I'm sorry, T.
I'm so not violent. I'm a sweetheart. I'm a sweetheart. No, I just want to bring it back real quick before I get into my actual question.
Yeah.
Because as I said, he comes from a long line of boys, and his brothers played basketball. Who helped you develop a love for the game?
Oh man. Sheesh. I think my love for basketball, um, I don't think it was just one person, to be honest with you, T. Um, I got an older brother that was in
Mhm.
high school that could jump out the gym. I mean, he was
Yes.
athletic as hell.
Say his name.
Uh,
Tell him what his name was so they can look up and see if they can find something on
uh,
him. Tell him his name. You ain't got to hide it over here, man. Yep, you ain't
nah,
got to hide
nah, but
it.
listen, his
Mm,
name was Morris Wright, but everybody in Columbia knew him because
yeah.
during that time, we was in the conference with C.A. Johnson,
Mm-hmm.
Keenan, Dreher, Columbia High. You
Eau Claire,
know,
one Eau Claire in there
Eau
too?
Claire was 4A. Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Eau Claire was 4A then, so we was in that conference up there in Columbia. But Bovane went to Keenan. Um, the point guard Carrie Rich was at C.A. Johnson. Um, that played for University of South Carolina. Bovane went to Clemson. But that was a tough conference. But anyways, um, I think just seeing the reactions um, that that my brother gained um, from playing, like the excitement, I should say,
Mm-hmm.
is what really got me going, especially in basketball.
Okay. Yeah. When I tell you, it's a shout out, rest in peace to his mom. Like I said, she raised some great men. Great. That was a mama that woman drove everywhere.
Talk to
Okay.
him.
She
Oh yeah,
followed
Talk
them
to him,
boys
T.
everywhere. And my dad was right behind her. If they went somewhere, I remember we
yep,
went to see them play UVA. We went to the University of Maryland to watch them play. We did some traveling.
oh yeah, oh
We
yeah,
did some
oh yeah.
traveling. He used to bench press us for fun, just because. Um,
Yeah, look, you see how she neatly threw that in there, bro.
You
She
no,
know,
when
neatly
I
threw
tell
it in
you,
there.
when I
right?
tell you, when I tell you, sports has been a part of my upbringing. It was sports was a big part of my
Oh yeah,
upbringing.
oh yeah.
Like it was, they were the reason I learned to love basketball. Like my dad played college football, but they were the reason I learned to love basketball. I remember being a youngin, and we were only 45 minutes. We were here on Fort Jackson. We were only 45 minutes from the Low Country. Every
Yeah.
game that they had at home, we was down there in a little yellow and burgundy shirt that said HHR on it, and just my aunt went to school there. All of my cousins were there. My cousins, my aunt. So it was a family affair. You
Oh yeah,
know,
definitely.
going down there to watch him play. And when I remember when you made your announcement that you were going to Clemson, and like the excitement around that, because everybody was just happy that you were going to be home and in the state to play. What was that like going into that recruitment process, and making having to make such a decision like that? You know, what was that
Um,
like, and how did that come about?
well, my recruitment started to get uh, it started to get tough, because I was being recruited as much in football as I was in basketball. So
Mm-hmm.
it started to get tough, and you know, I never said anything to anyone, but I'm like, man, I'm just ready for this to be over with. And um I remember Dennis Felton, who was the assistant coach at Clemson then. I think he's at James Madison now. Um, but he was the assistant. He came down with Rick Barnes from Providence. He brought his crew with him, and we just we just clicked because Eddie Fogler and them was, they were looking at me real hard, and they tried to sell me on this whole dream with B.J. Mackey from Irmo and Leonard Johnson from Eau Claire and Wayne Gallman from Chester and some other kid, and they was like, yeah, we're gonna have 5 kids from South Carolina in the starting lineup, blah blah blah, and then something happened, and like, I guess their plan really wasn't for me to start, and of course, Eau Claire was everything. Coach Glimp was everything. Playing for Coach Glimp, rest in peace. And I just kind of got away from South Carolina, and then Clemson came in, and they were in a rebuilding phase. They wasn't trying to add nothing; they was trying to rebuild. So when I heard
you guys
the
were the
word
first team under Rick when he transferred, right?
I was the second team under Rick. It was Rick's second year. Yeah.
Okay.
So they was talking about rebuilding, and they needed pieces. So I was the highest ranked recruit in that class when we went to Clemson. But they was talking about rebuilding and, of course, staying close to home. I was like, I'm sold.
I loved it because outside of what you did out there, only other people really from Clemson they really talk about like that was Horace and Harvey Grant. But what they didn't really see, and like, I'm gonna keep going back to this North Carolina game because it was Jamison's out there.
Yeah.
They want to talk about the other one. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. I got one in here with me right now, and I saw what he did. And I checked out some of the interviews and everything, so I'm not going to keep it cliche and ask the same thing that they asked, because I saw when you had got the pass and how they broke down on you defensively. I saw it, and like how you said, you didn't want to turn. I tell my team this all the time, especially the guys that's open. Why are you yelling? You're not open no more if you got to yell.
Yeah, exactly.
And I tell my offensive players that's supposed to distribute directly to them, whoever is open, I do not care where you are. They're open when you waiting for to pass them the ball. You see them open, I want to dribble first. Now they're not open no more. You know how it is. You got 1 second for everything that you do, whether it's a jumper, a pass, or a setup, or just even to catch control to see. So I guess my question is, out of all of that, bro, when you saw all of it breaking down, did that go to really specifically fundamentals or just the heat of the moment? Because you were about to be triple teamed. If people didn't watch that play, it wasn't just a double team. It was a double off of the top. It was another coming right there. And they knew the athlete that you were. So go ahead. I'm gonna let you go ahead, man. Yeah, I mean, I saw it.
I was excited for this interview. When I told him who I had in my back pocket, he was like, "You've been sitting on this."
Yeah, man. Come on, man.
So, honestly, like, everything in basketball breaks down to fundamentals, because 9 times out of 10, if you made a play, if a play happens, it's because you practice it over and over and over again. And that was definitely fundamentals, because when I got the ball, like, that wasn't even part of the play, first of all. And I didn't want to give it away, but when I got it, I saw the players that were coming, and knowing, this goes back to knowing, like, paying attention in the huddle and and just knowing where people are at on the floor, like, knowing your job, like it's so many small things, as a player, but and paying attention to detail. So when I saw them coming, I think it was Jeff McGinnis that was right there at the top of the key. Then you had big ass Serge Swicker, and then you had another person coming. I was like, holy crap.
Yeah, bro, they was there, and you a big guy. Like
Right.
watching the play, and I repeated it, and I'm looking like, yo, how did he get surrounded like that? These aren't guards or like small forwards. These are official bigs in this time and era we talking about. Go ahead. I'm sorry, man.
So just knowing the floor and knowing where guys were supposed to be, like as soon as I got the ball and I looked out the corner of my eye and I saw who was coming, like you said, it's 1 second. Like that's when, instincts kick in and everything just becomes like, it's just natural that if you got 3 guys coming at you, or you got 1 at the top and 2 more coming at you, someone is open. So now the second question is, where's the open guy? But keep in mind, like you said, it's 1 second. So all of this is playing in your head all within 1 second. On top of that, you got to react. So you're talking about maybe 2 seconds. You thinking about all of this. You got to pass off. You know where guys at. Like, that's how fast the game is. And people don't even realize it. But anyway, back to the question.
You good. Yeah, you good. Because, and look, and what you're saying is also all while we love the game because it's that fast. You don't get to call a play and do it. It's on the fly. Go ahead.
Exactly.
Bro. Go ahead, bro.
So when I saw him coming, I'm like, okay, the closest person next to him has to be this person because you got 1 person on the inbound, 1 person at the top of the key, you got 2 coming at me. So there's only 1 person left that's guarding the back door or basically that's guarding the rim. Bam. Like,
and what did you tell him after he did that dunk? Because he looked like that 2-step was the 2-step in the name of love. This was R. Kelly before R. Kelly. This was before anything because it didn't matter. You could have had Christian Laettner in his prime. You could have had Chris Webber. It don't matter who it was. They was getting dunked on that right there. He did the perfect 2-step and like how you did with your pass, the fundamentals. He couldn't have caught that better on the way to the basket, being the player that he was. Man, what did you tell him after that, man?
Man, I said,
I saw I felt, bro. You wore 32. My favorite player is Magic Johnson. So you was Magic in the 6'9", 6'10" size. Yeah, you was him right there. And like, yo, everybody looking like, yo, hey, I made this happen, yo. I could have bricked it and we could have went home. Nah, I made this happen. And I'm out here, my energy's up, yo. Bro, how did it feel, bro? How did it feel?
It was like payback because honestly, I wanted to be a Tar Heel my whole life.
He showed me. He had no Canada stuff. I kid you not.
She said it. You heard it. She vouched for it.
Listen, it was known, and I was just waiting, and when it didn't happen, I was like, okay, all right, no problem. Same conference though. Dude with the same last name. Ranked a little bit higher than me nationally, And the one thing that a lot of people don't know, and they forget that I was ranked top 20 in the country in our class.
Talk to him now. Talk to him now. Yeah. Talk to him now.
Because you got to remember, right? In my class, I'm gonna tell you who was in my class. You had kids like Ronnie Field, Stephon Marbury, Ron Mercer. Who else was in that class? Oh my God, man, we had 10 legit. I think the top 10 kids in that class was either first or second round picks. The top 10 in our class. Like that class of 95.
Unforgettable
was
names.
stacked.
Yeah, the few that you named was unforgettable, man. And you came out of that? What?
Yes, sir. Like 95 was Robert Trailer, the big dude that
Tractor
went to
Trailer.
Tractor Trailer was in that class.
Because he went to Michigan, right?
Yeah. Like so for me to be ranked in the top 20, yeah. For me to be ranked top 20 nationally, like
hey, that's
something.
That's a real deal right there, man.
So
that's real deal right there, man. I wish my board was sounding because I'm steadily hitting the Don DeMarco out here for that right there. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I'm gonna edit it and put it all in there for it, man. Don't worry about that. Yeah.
So Pete, now we listen to him. Now do you understand why my love is the way it is?
Yes, like, I mean, you come from a brand,
all of it,
and it's not even just basketball. Because I mean, we're not getting to the next yet, and I don't want to bleed it on over. But I mean, we still smiling, y'all. We smiling like I don't know what. I'm not even gonna ask what we smiling about.
Well, hold up, we're not even talking about his sister-in-law played. She played on the women's game. She was one of the first ones to help really get me into the women's game of basketball. So, it's a long line. And I remember the game that I remember vividly watching was when y'all played Wake Forest and watching you battle Tim Duncan down low.
Wait a minute. Say it one more time, T. Because they don't know now. Look, they don't know now. For everybody that's watching and paying attention, listening in, tuning in, say it again for him, T.
When Tim Duncan was at Wake Forest, he was a force to be reckoned with in that paint.
Before he got to the Playboy Mansion.
Before he got to play for the Spurs. But I remember watching Clemson.
You know where I'm at, cuz. You know where I'm at.
I remember watching Clemson and Wake Forest. And when I tell you, everybody's like, oh, Tim Duncan is. Tim Duncan didn't even have half the points that he was normally averaging because he could not get around. He could not get around him. It was like,
so who was guarding him that game? Can I ask you that, T? Do you know the answer to that? Who was guarding him?
Yes, number 32, Harold Jameson out of Van South Carolina.
My boy, HOD.
Yes.
Man,
you remember that game?
A little bit of that right there, man.
We it was one game. I think we played at Wake Forest first that year, and then when they came back to us, we were ranked the highest Clemson basketball team ever. We were ranked number 2 in the polls, and I think they were ranked number 3. And
y'all pay attention to this. Highest ever. This is history. Who we got in the building now? He just
and my thing was, it wasn't about being embarrassed. It was about the fact that you are who you are. I am who I am. Let's go get it. You understand what I'm saying?
Be you or me. Like, it ain't gonna be me.
Listen.
I love that answer.
People who know me, like, they knew if they were playing against me, they knew what it was gonna be. You understand what I'm saying? From top to bottom, I don't care who it was. Like, these guys got love for me to this day. If you see one of them on the street and you mention my name, they'll tell you, hey, that's a grown ass man right there, dog. Like,
that's right.
he ain't backing down from nothing. That nigga ain't never seen a challenge he didn't like. And that was my attitude every freaking night. Whatever the challenge was, I'm accepting it. Bring it on. You understand what I'm saying? I didn't care who it was, where it was. Like, if it was in between them lines, listen, if both of us come out alive, one of us was barely going to come out alive, and it wasn't going to be me. So that was
And that was when
my
the AC.
attitude
That's when
every
the
night.
ACC. That's when the ACC was. If you watch basketball and watch over years, there's always been certain conferences that had, that were better in certain areas, and that's when the ACC dominated basketball. You had UNC, Duke, Clemson. You had NC State. That's when in Maryland at the time. That's when the ACC was running things.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We had 18, 9 teams that went to the tournament almost every year I was at Clemson.
Yeah. Exactly. I remember you guys coming to Maryland. You guys coming to Maryland. That game going down to almost the wire. I actually got pictures. I wish I would have found them pictures. I actually got pictures from that game.
So
don't worry, you can still send them because we not live. We recording this, and I'm gonna edit, and I'm gonna make sure this is right for us before I post it. Now we is live on Twitch and we live on Facebook, but I'm definitely gonna get this right for us. So we're gonna have all of the things to match with it.
I got pictures from that game. That was a game. That game was funny to get to because what people don't realize, that game it snowed. It was snow on the ground trying to get to the game.
Big O.
Oh yeah. Yes, sir.
Let me ask you this.
Yes, sir.
Why was March Madness back then for men's so much better than it is now? We watch more women's March Madness than we do with men's, and it's no disrespect. If you watch our show for the last year and a half, a lot of our ratings came from us doing this, T and my mom. We talking about UConn, we talking about South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole thing is, who is it in men's? But we ain't doing that. But I'm not going outside of the question. But why is it back then, 96 and all of that? Remember, we talked, bro. You can get into the elites back then, man. That's arguably for me one of the best drafts ever. 1996 NBA draft. But
he answers that. Go to the comments.
Yeah, for real. Go ahead and do that. But from 1996 to 2026, if you look at the March Madness, back then you looked for it. You was ready. You was hungry. You wanted to watch college basketball. You knew these was the guys that's about to make the NBA lit. Now you look at it as, I don't even know right now because it's hard to watch. I love my UConn men now that they finally got themselves back into the running. But everybody else is like, the league is just there. But the girls are really, really doing it when you talk about NCAA. And it's like the whole March Madness has switched. So my question, I guess, is, what do you think the difference is from 96 to 2026 as far as the men's? And we'll leave the women out for it.
Well, the landscape has changed. And first of all, let me say this. Hats off to the women out there that's doing that thing, man, that has made it possible, for them to be recognized on such levels and the stage that they're on right now, because that was not easy. At one point, you would look at a women's game, regardless of who it was, back then outside of Tennessee and Connecticut. I mean, you look at women's game and you could count the people in the stands. So hats off to them. And I'll get back to that in a minute. But as far as March Madness right now, two things. It's not as exciting unless you have a sleeper team, right? And this goes back to what I said earlier about you teaching everybody the same thing. Everybody wants to be a skilled player. Everybody wants to score, right? So there's really like no diversity. Like you don't see a lot of teams playing hard nosed D. I'm talking about lockdown, up in your shit, 94 feet, and you don't see a lot of big men being big men. So what it's telling you is that regardless of how entertaining it is, it's really not what the people want. Now, I'm gonna go back to early 2000s. I used to train at IMG Academy in Florida. Look it up. I was one of the people that started pro basketball, NBA players training down there, right? Mm-hmm. And when they came in, we had professional referees. Dick Vitale lived right up the street, right?
And for those of y'all that don't know, IMG Academy is in, I believe it's Lakeland.
It's in Bradenton.
Bradenton. It's not because we lived in Tampa, so it's not far. When you look up IMG, right, exactly. You have a lot of players that come out of IMG. So this is one of those almost the big preparatory schools that have a lot of these players go do extra years. So that's what he's talking about.
And Dick Vitale is the guy that says, "It's the big game, baby."
Yeah.
He helped me meet him too. So,
that was a weak invitation, but go ahead, bro.
So, when they came in and said that the league, the NBA, wanted to go back to the old days when guys was averaging 120, 125 points a game, averaging 120, 25 points a game. So this is what the league wants. They want to see more scoring and dunks, blah, blah, blah. That's part of the reason why what y'all looking at right now is the reason why it is. Because it's what the league wanted. It's what fans wanted because, they was like, we have to get more fans. Not that they didn't have enough, but we got to get more fans. So from the early 2000s, you start to see that trend take place. And it got to the point where it's at right now. It's ridiculous. You can't blow on somebody hard unless it's a foul. You got nobody playing defense. I mean, if somebody intentionally hits you, it's a flagrant foul now. Back in the day, you almost had to get your leg broke in order for a referee to call a flagrant foul on you. You understand what I'm saying? So now, it's what the league wanted, to make money and all this other crap. But now they're sadly seeing that it's really not what the fans want. Like, the fans would rather see people playing great D and, putting themselves on the line, in spite
playing
of
basketball, man.
Exactly. So now that trend fell into the college level where, everybody is skilled, everybody's athletic, everybody wants to score, and it has made basketball not what it used to be. But now they're quickly realizing that they need to go back to the old way of doing things where, you got to play tough D, you got to have defense, because as far as ratings and stuff, it's definitely not the same. And this is why women's March Madness in basketball has taken the step that it has. Because I'm telling you, if you look at women's basketball right now, women's basketball is probably more physical, especially on the college level. Women's basketball is probably more physical than men's college basketball right now.
Yeah, and they play the whole game too. They don't just play like the leading players play. They play team ball every game. It's no dunks out there. That's why it's so exciting. They find a way to score.
And even though every team has a star, it's still the aspect of team. You understand what I'm saying? Yes. It ain't like you have, hey, this is Kentucky. They have these two players. What? Like, okay, they're going to take 30, 40 shots between the both of them. And, if they win, everything is good. They might have, somebody come off the bench. They might have a third player, blah, blah, blah. Like, Okay, it's good.
You're only gonna win so long with that.
Exactly my point. And guess what? It gets boring. It gets boring
Yep.
because nothing is emphasized. Team is not emphasized.
Yep.
And regardless of, regardless of what people think, the average person does not want to see that because they equate that with being selfish. They equate that with selfishness. And then, this is when you start having the talks about NIL money and these players getting played. They get paid like they're professionals. And,
And that
like
was
the
the next
list is
question.
going to go on and on and on, all because they've changed the way we play basketball.
Exactly.
And that was going to be my next question. With that being said, what's your take on not only the NIL itself, um, but when you have some of these players like such as like the Cooper Flags owner that come in for the get the NIL, do the 1 year, and then leave. Like, if we're talking about college and building programs, how does that one further the game of basketball? How does that like it's a three-part question. Like, how is the NIL more so for the school or for the athlete, and how does that help them? And then if you got these athletes coming in and doing 1 year and then leaving for the pros, how does that build a program and help you recruit players if you're not able to build these programs? Does that
Well,
make sense?
yeah, I got you. Um, and here's the thing. I said this 3, 4 years ago, before they really started it. There's no loyalty on both sides. There's no loyalty with coaches. There's no loyalty with players. Um, do I believe that players should get money? 100%. I I I wholeheartedly agree with that. Um, and to tell you why, like when I was in school, Clemson is a pretty nice size school. We have the IPTAY club, and our budget for the season or for the year was 20 million back then, right? So, the way I see it, as far as the NIL money, um, players should get something. I mean, we're sacrificing.
Mm-hmm.
People are coming to see us play just like any place else. However, it
They're
should
not
not
coming to see the
be
logo.
correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
I don't think nobody's ever said that. They're not coming to see the logo out there
So,
play or the
yeah,
mascots. Coming to see
exactly.
y'all,
So
man.
exactly, and as far as how much they get paid, this is where you have to separate one level from the other. And what I mean is you have to separate college from the pros, right? Because if you give these kids all this money at this level, what's going to keep them hungry? What's like? What do they have forward, you know, to look to at the next level? You know what
Basically
I'm
telling
saying?
them
Like,
what's wrong with a good 25 to 50,000 to get you
yeah,
right. You don't need more than that. You still a college student. We ain't trying to pay your mom and them bills. We trying to look out for you while you doing what
right,
you do. Like I understand completely what you're saying with that, and I'm for that.
yeah,
Millions as a college student is crazy work because
yeah,
everybody can't get on that level. But the people that's getting it, who's to say who deserves that, who earned that
right,
when everybody is on a collegiate level? NFL money is NFL money. And what's gonna keep you hungry is you get enough to where you comfortable and you're still hungry enough to go to that next level so you can take care of your family. You still in college, bro. You still gotta prove, you still gotta be healthy enough, you still gotta do it. Go ahead, bro. I'm sorry, man. I'll
yeah.
feel you on that right there. I feel you on that. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. That's crazy.
And see, here's the thing. Being that young with that kind of money, there is no gray area. It's either going to ruin you or
Yep.
make you a better person. There is
Yep.
no gray area. Believe me when I tell you that. And last but least, um, I think that the NCAA has to put a cap on things because um, the amount of money that could be made is incredibly insane because now you got kids that's coming like strictly for the money, like just strictly for the money. Their love for the game is questionable. Their desire is questionable. And at the end of the day, when it's all over, you know, it's like, hey, I basically got a free education and I got a ton of money just to go to school. And then that's it.
And
Like
that might not even be 4 years.
exactly.
Exactly.
Exactly. But they're happy and they're satisfied. I think that looking at the older generation, my generation, and we have these talks all the time. Listen, these kids getting millions. We were like, listen, shit, give us $1,000 a week, and we'll be in the Final Four every year.
Why not? I ain't got nothing else to worry about. Yeah, for real. I'm doing what I need. Yeah, I got what I need. I ain't got to do nothing extra. Not a care in the world.
Man, it's the mindset though, because number one, regardless of how much you pay this, you know, we love the game. Like we love what we did. So to incentivize us, oh my God, like that was just, that was just the ultimate. It wasn't the other way around. Like, yeah, I want you to incentivize me because no, it was like we gonna do what we do so that you can incentivize us. You understand what I'm saying? Like the mentality is just different, man. Like, you got a bunch of entitled kids right now. And that's why like some of these programs, for instance, you look at Dabo Sweeney and his football program, they're talking about he's suffering, but he's like, there's no way I'm paying the kid millions of dollars to come to my school for 1 year that haven't proved himself, he haven't done anything for the program, blood, sweat, and tears. And you want me to pay him and start him over a junior that has been here, proven himself, that has been waiting his turn, and I know what he can do? Totally agree with Dabo 100%. However, the world that we live in, this is what it is. This is how it's going. These kids are getting millions of dollars before they even play a down, and it's crazy. It's crazy.
And when they get hurt and they don't work out, then not the quarterback, I'm sorry. The coach is under scrutiny and everything from it. But from the beginning, like what we said, Dabo and so many other coaches are against it. But it's not them, it's the program that do that. And it's crazy. We ain't gonna get into it with them like that. I got one more. Yeah, we ain't gonna do it because we can. But like I said, and like T said, I want you on here a little bit more, man. I want you on here a little bit more if you got free time.
You thought I was excited, and I'm here. I'm thinking I'm like, yes, I get to do. They done took over your girl interview. It is just so much.
Hey man, I'm sorry, man. It's love, man. It's love, man. It's love, man. I think
that's okay. I just remember, I brought the heat.
You better believe it. That's why this is gonna be released on Working Women's Wednesdays for everybody that got too much going on tonight and can't watch it live. Y'all can catch this Wednesday when we release it, and it's all the way ready on YouTube and every other platform. But T, I got one more question before we go to what we all still smiling about. I don't know about y'all, but the interview's been great. It's not, they don't know. It's the back setting on this right here.
I've got one more too.
Okay, so ladies first, I'm gonna let you go ahead and do your thing. Ask your question and I'll do mine.
With everything you've seen, from your experiences playing college ball, professional ball, and just coaching, we've all seen the game change in various ways. Do you think the game can get back to that fundamental and physicality that it had before. And at some point, do you think at some point the women's game will ever be to where we can be, if not on the same level, at least a step under versus where we are now?
Well, that's a two-part question.
Yeah, it is. It's a two-part question.
I think that it's going to take a while. I think that it can, but it's going to take a while for the game to get back. But it has to start from the top, meaning that it has to start from the NBA level. You're not going to change the game of basketball. Sorry to say, people, but it's just the honest truth. If you look at all the trends, everything starts from the pro level. So if the pros get physical again, it's going to force colleges to get physical again, and on, down to high school, because what's going to happen is if the highest level of basketball is physical, you have to prepare your kids, the ones that are going to that next level, you have to prepare them for that type of physicality. The same thing with high school. If college is more physical, you have to prepare your kids mentally and physically for that next level. And that's how it was back in the day. So to answer your question, yes, I think it can. It's going to take a lot. But it has to start with the NBA first. And whatever the NBA deems fit, or when they deem it fit to change the way we play, then they will. But I know right now, and I know for a fact that fans are not happy with the game as we see it right now. They're not happy.
So that's something that's going to have to come from like the top personnel, front office, player personnel type of a situation. From that,
it's going to have to come from the league itself. It's going to have to come from the way they officiate. They're going to have to change officiating completely, just like they did, when they wanted to see more scoring and dunks and stuff like that. They've changed the way they officiate. That's all that has happened. They've changed the way they officiate. They've changed the way they call fouls. They've changed what are fouls and what are not fouls. That's how you change the game. The second part of your question, I think that women's basketball, I don't think that it would ever be better than, I won't say better. I don't think that it'll be on the same playing field as men's pro basketball. However, it still has a lot of room to grow. Like, I think that what we've seen over the last 4 years, women's basketball, especially on the college level, it's freaking ridiculous and scary how fast it's grown over the last 3 years as far as viewers and the ratings and stuff that women basketball gets. And, that's due largely to, the fact that they're being televised more, and it's more so a team sport, and that alone should tell you what fans really want and what fans really want to see. Like, they want to see good basketball. They want to see, people playing as a unit, and not just one or two people that's taking 40, 50 crazy shots and, with no defense being played.
Look,
so
I don't want to cut you off, but we got some people that's in here. JLE the 3 said the women play the game the right way. We got War Stories Radio. Shout out to you, Huda. He said Tia Legend. They all going off of what we talking about right now at this moment, man. Yo, it's love. Said, yeah, I don't even know what is going on, but I don't watch basketball. I'm just waiting for it to be done so I can troll Pete. That's crazy, man. Look, see, you can troll all you want, but I'm bringing the facts, and you're not going to win it, man. You're not going to win it, but yeah, man. Yeah, man. Go ahead and continue, bro. Go ahead and continue, man.
No, so I myself I enjoy watching the women's basketball game, man. And for me to see where women are at skill wise right now, it's freaking unbelievable, dude. Like literally, you got women that'll bust like any man behind right now, like one on one. I'm talking about giving them problems, giving them fits, and
Yeah,
like
you
it's
like
it's
Sarah Strong out of UConn is one of the few I think can go toe to toe.
Yeah, yo, for real,
Oliker from
yo.
Texas, yeah.
Give you the
It's scary.
business.
Booker from Texas, yeah.
Shit,
Sheesh.
they'll beat me. They'll beat me. I mean, I'm too old right now, but
Even if you look at
even
and if
in
you
my
think about it,
prime,
if you
yeah,
think
even
about
in
it,
my
you go
prime,
back,
they'll light me up.
even, yeah, you go back like even 15 years when Pat Summitt had Tennessee, because I went to school with Carol Lawson out of Tennessee. She was in West Springfield High School. We played, and I went to Hayfield. We played against them. That girl used to light us up like it was nobody's business.
Was you happy you gave it up, T? Was you happy you gave it up?
I was glad I was the manager because I couldn't have been on the court. That girl, she was shooting threes like it was nobody's business. But even when you go back to her playing for Pat Summitt, and even like when Shamika Holdsclaw was playing for Tennessee and them, and to see the women's game today, the skill set has improved just in that time frame.
Oh yeah.
So from when like Tamika Catchings and everybody was playing, so it's the fundamentals of it, and like you said, the fact that it's televised more, it allows the fans to see, and allows the fans to kind of really get into it because they do play a lot of fundamental basketball.
That's facts.
Yep.
I got one more question, man, before we switch over to why we all happy and still real in a good mood, man.
What's up?
In your prime, when you had the muscles under the Clemson jersey, when you was back grazing on them boys, is LeBron James dropping 42, 12, and 6 on you?
Nope.
No way.
Real talk.
Nope.
Yeah, well, let me know, because a lot of people are scared, but nah, I seen this game. I'm not good enough where I could say I could have did this with him. I was never big enough. I had the IQ, I had the physicality, but at my size, I could have never done it. Looking at you and what you did
first
hand. Yeah.
Nope. Wouldn't have been
looking
done.
At you and who you were, your athleticism, and what you did. Like, people don't realize what I say about LeBron. He's a great player because his stats that he made, but that came from running fast, jumping high. That didn't come from figuring it out through footwork, real athleticism, and making it work through that. So I'm just saying that just to get it out the way. But I'm gonna ask you, is he dropping 42, 10, and 9 on you out there? Muscles straight from in your prime.
Listen, I'll put it to you like this, right? You remember Antoine Walker?
Yes. Cybertwan.
Right?
Yep.
Listen, he was averaging almost 20 when it was in Boston.
Mm-hmm. Right before Pierce got there.
Right around the same time. Because, as a matter of fact, Paul Pierce was in our class too.
Was he in 95 or 96?
In that 95 class.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be in that 95 class.
Yeah.
But he came out in 96. Anyway, so Twan was averaging like 20-something. So I started that game against Boston, and nigga had 8 points. My point is, same size, same height, almost exact same build when I was in my prime. The only difference between me and LeBron is I take pride in shut niggas like him down, and number two, he don't have the heart I have.
And see, and look, this is why I'm happy that T invited you here for the interview. This is why I'm happy I got the opportunity to study and understand, because I asked the questions because I saw your build. I saw how you played. I saw that even outside of the NBA, your career extended overseas and all of this. A lot of people outside of the NBA, it's over. It's a wrap. They in AAU, they in high school coaching. Yours still extended. You still did it. You had the athleticism, you had the IQ, you did it. So what you're saying, I can back that 100%, because like what I know from what I see in LeBron now, excuse me, when you're going up against people that's stronger than you at your size, you go for flops. That's why one of my first questions was, are you a floppy player? And I saw it. No, you weren't.
I watched him go
against
Antoine Jamison. I watched him go against Tim Duncan. I watched him go
in
against
that era.
Elton Brand.
It wasn't in that era. You had to prove it. Like he said, it's him or me, and it ain't gonna be me. And with LeBron
I watched him go up against these players and they struggled. And these were rebounders. They were struggling to get rebounds because he was boxing out. And he had a wingspan that was crazy.
Bro, did you see his muscle mass? That's what I'm talking about. He was like a more athletic of a Charles Oakley, Anthony Mason, the guys he was talking about.
When I tell you, they ran through my house. My house, because we were on base. We were right here by the airport. My house was the midway point, was a stomping ground. I grew up. I would go to sleep. I would wake up. These jokers would be in my house downstairs eating breakfast.
So would you say, T, with LeBron drop 42, 10, and 9 on him? You heard me, T?
No,
T.
No.
All right. And that's what I want to say. And everybody that's watching it, everybody that's tuned in and seeing this, I want y'all to put that down. Go back and look at all of the clips and highlights. Go back and look into his first stages and his prime. When you see the muscle mass out there when jerseys was baggy. We ain't talking about the tight jersey era. We talk about the baggy jersey era when the power met power, guards met guards, the real NBA era. I ain't talking about just because it was fights and stuff like that. No, I'm not doing that so the people that have that for an excuse, no, we're not doing that. We're talking about you had to play. It wasn't just you were strong, it was you were strong enough to last. You were strong enough to play the game. These guys had to fight to get on the court. They had to fight for minutes. They had to fight for a paycheck. This is what nowadays these guys don't understand, because it's almost all entertainment. I can't say all, because you still got to play some basketball, but it's really all entertainment. But back then, you look at the paychecks back then versus now, with a guy that's like I said, you would have been a more better of, what's old boy that give LeBron fits? Dylan, is that his name? You'd have gave him way more fits because you were way more athletic. LeBron don't like to be challenged face up. He don't like it. It messes with him the whole night, and he defers from the ball. He passes it. Man, JJ Barrett, did you like how he did you, man? I'll never see that happening with my boy Big Harrow out here. I'll never see it. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. JJ Barrett with LeBron would have never happened with Big Harrow out here, man.
Can y'all see this?
I do.
You talk about Dylan Brooks.
This, you talking about?
Yeah,
this,
I am.
This jersey, this hoodie, this hoodie over 20-some years old. This the same hoodie that I bought when they played University of Maryland, and I wore it to the University of Maryland game. I still got this hoodie.
Let's go. Let's go. Cuz love from my nationwide posse, feel me?
I still have that hoodie.
Let's go.
I had to go. I was like, I know I got the hoodie. I had to go find it real quick.
All right, so y'all.
I had to find it. So
all right, so y'all. And before we go on to the football, I lied. I got one more question. This is me and T together. Can we get you some more on the show for the basketball versions and even in football with us with the Niners, man? Can we get you to be back on the show with us? Because I love the energy, man. I love the family vibes. I'm happy to be a part of it. Only NBA player I've met personally in South Carolina was Tyrone Corbin. I used to play with him in Forest Lake all the time. I used to try to dunk on him and all. Yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly. Yes,
Ty
man.
Corbin, Xavier McDaniel.
Yes, man. I
all
was
those guys
5'2",
right
trying to dunk or try to catch him slipping, man. Ty wasn't doing it. He wasn't doing it, and this was before the cameras and all of this, man. It was before
Right.
all of it. But can we get you on just to talk sometimes when you got free time to be on here with us, man?
Oh, most definitely. She know all she got to do is reach out, and if I'm available, especially on Sundays, Sundays is a good day for me.
I told you they
yeah,
love me.
Awesome.
yeah. I got a big family,
Yes, it
but
does.
yeah, a very, very, very big family. But she knows that certain people in my family, like I hate to say this, but I don't mess with them at all. And then there's certain people like if they call, like it's whatever.
Here to bring you the facts, data, and statistics up close and personal. Letting you decide if it truly is hate or debate.
Pulls up 3-pointer.